I think, well. Let's see. The problem with Oklahoma's defense this year isn't about as much of their competition, in my opinion. If they make it to the playoff, no way they've seen as physical of a team that they will see there. It's true, right? And that's a good argument because when they get to play Clemson, they got railroaded. First in the Sweatpants Bowl, then in 2015. When they play LSU, they got railroaded. When they played Alabama, they got railroaded. Like, that's a really good discussion, but it's like getting to the final boss. You know, like, you got to get there. And you don't have a whole lot of reps against the final boss. You know, like, you probably take a couple L's before you are able to beat the final boss in whatever game it is you're playing. Like, I'm back on my Destiny 2 BS, and I'm not happy about it because I think of myself as a Titan, but I'm getting wrecked by hunters, and I'm getting wrecked by hunters with the doggone stasis. And the Crucible is just not a place where me and my wide shoulders and my big booty of a Titan is going to have a good time. So I'm having to level up a hunter. And I'm having to be like, get this stasis tornado grenade that's OP. I'm having to mess with shadow shot so I can be invisible and run up to people and shotgun them in the face. Like, I had to learn all that, right? And even doing that, when I go into the raid again, by the way, I'm a day one Destiny dude, so like I remember cheesing Atheon off the ledge. When I go into the Vault of Glass, we're probably going to die a couple of times when we get to Atheon because there's a lot going on there with the puzzles and there's a lot going on. You have to be in a position to take advantage of what you can, but also, like, if you don't have a dude on a plate, y'all all die. That's what Oklahoma's up against. Oklahoma's up against the final boss when they get to the playoff. And you don't get an opportunity to get reps against that final boss till you get there, right? And we're hoping that after going 0-3 in the playoff, Oklahoma will figure out what it's supposed to do once it gets there. I hope that made some sense. I think somebody got that, but it's not my best metaphor. Let's see, OU should still run the table in the Big 12. Same story, different year. It's true. Let's see. Nebraska ain't even close to what. Let me see. What's Leland got? I just went past Leland's question. Trying to find it, Leland. If I find it, I'll let you know. Is Fanatic Perspective in? Hey, is Steve in here? No, somebody was just meant to Steve. Okay. Leland's Shanks. There we go. You be right, RJ. Can outscore everyone. We need to cool our jets and see how OU will play this year. I mean, it's hard because we all feel some kind of way about this being the squad. And I've been yelling about this being the squad for 3 years. This has been the squad. Like, this is the one that I thought was going to have the best chance to do it. Let's see. I want a top 8 in the playoffs. Give me 16. Give me 16. Give me the 10 automatic qualifiers who won their conference championships, and then let your committee pick out the other 6 and do the seeding. I hate that a boardroom gets to pick who plays in a playoff game. I want the scoreboard to do that. Let's see. Let's see. Trying to see. Somebody is talking about UAB. I'll tell you this, Bill Clark doing a job over there. Like, they managed to win Conference USA in a year in which I didn't think they were going to win Conference USA. Let's see what we got. Talk about who's going to get the starting job at OU. What are you talking about? Spencer Rattler's starting quarterback at Oklahoma. What are you actually insinuating? Why do I still have to answer questions about the 5-star backup competing with the 5-star starter who's been the starter? That makes no sense. Like, why do you want to usher the kid in there? What are you expecting? How do you think they get that much better with Caleb Williams at quarterback than Spencer Rattler? Especially with Rattler having the experience that he had of 2020. What? I swear, man, some people claiming to be OU fans don't even pay attention. Your memory of names is ridiculous. Anything you do special. No, dog. I constantly stay reading about this stuff, right? That is how I have become, I think, important to your experience in college football. Is if I didn't know how to remember that stuff or I didn't read all that stuff, what use would I be to you? Quite honestly. You know? I don't play the game. Never coached the game. I just love the game. And I've studied the game. And I've been reading the game for years. You know, like, while other dudes were trying to get into, the NFL or go to camp circuits, I'm reading history books about college football, and I'm staying up on recruiting news, and I'm lurking on boards. Like, that's just how I'm made. But I appreciate you pointing that out. It's one of the things that my buddy, Jerry Ostrowski, always used to give me such shade for, but also in a loving way. He's like, RJ, you have no business remembering all of these names. I'm like, I know. I was just remarking about how I'm going to miss talking about Ronnie Bass, talking about Sunshine, talking about Trevor Lawrence. And yet here we are. We're going to find some new stars. Let me see. Oh, Eker. I'm going to mess up your last name, Eker. I'm going to attempt it, though. Aguirre. Watching you from Spain, RJ. Big fan right here since 2018. So happy for your progress, man. I appreciate that. Thank you, homie. That means a lot to me. Let's see. Do you think there will be a few Big 12 teams that make it to the playoffs? Not a few. One. Just one. There's a number of reasons why I think this is. The first one is Oklahoma is the only team that people think is good enough to make the playoff because Oklahoma has won the last 6 Big 12 championships, so it's always in their brain. Remember, there are people that are doing the rankings. The other is that the Big 12 is a 10-team league. You're not going to have 2 from a 10-team league. Not ever. Right? Yeah. The reason the SEC was able to get Alabama and Georgia in, was able to get multiple teams in, is A, they have 14 teams, and B, we already believe the SEC is the best conference in football, so we lean on it when we don't know what to do. It's the reason why I think you saw Texas A&M finishing like number 5 in the country. I don't think Texas A&M was that much better than Cincinnati last year. I don't believe it. I just think that because they play in the SEC and in the SEC West in particular, they got the benefit of the doubt. It's the same way in which many of y'all are showing up here to try to tell me that Matt Corral is one of the 5 best quarterbacks in college football. And you can't be one of the 5 best college football players at quarterback if you threw 6 interceptions in one game against Arkansas last year. It's impossible. I will not allow it. You cannot talk me into it. That man threw like 14 interceptions last year. 14. And he had Kenny Yeboah and Elijah Moore out there. And Elijah Moore is an All-American. He had Jerry and Ely behind him. You can't talk me into that. But we give the SEC such a benefit that you end up coming out here telling me about Matt Corral and Ole Miss. Stop it. You coming out here talking to me about Auburn and Bo Nix. Stop it. I think that is what you're going to see. So when we see Texas A&M and Alabama play, people are going to go, that's a game for who's playing in the not just conference championship, but in the national semifinal, right? Because the SEC West is that loaded. Let's see. CV says, RJ, hello from Oklahoma. I mean, I'm from Oklahoma. Appreciate that. LSU, UCLA time. It's at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time on Fox on Saturday. So it is up against Georgia Clemson on Big Fox. Make sure I got that right. Yes, I do. No, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, 7:30 Central. But I'm right in that it is on September 4th, and it is up against Clemson, Georgia. Let's see. What else we got in here? Independence Bowl already got a time and a date. Saturday, December 18th on ABC. Just got that email. Very cool. Do you think Eric Gray will be the starting running back? Man, that's a really good question. The short answer is yes. The long answer is right away, I'm not so sure. Marcus Major, still from people that I talk to around the program, is one of the most talented players on that team, and certainly to some people's minds, the most talented tailback in that room. That is not my opinion. That is what I was told. Now, we all know that Kennedy Brooks, when he's healthy and playing, was a walking first down. But he opted out of 2020, so I'm not sure what kind of shape he's in, right? Well, I take that back. I know what kind of shape he's in because he played in the spring, during the spring. I'm not sure where his vision is. I'm not sure that he has all of his football intellect back, that he has all his football instincts back. Eric Gray, we saw what that dude was doing at Tennessee last year, and we saw what he did in the spring game. I think it doesn't really matter who starts at tailback for Oklahoma or anywhere else for that matter. I think unless you got a bell cow back, like Jalen Berger is going to be for Wisconsin or Kyron Williams is going to be for Notre Dame. It doesn't matter because Oklahoma is always going to want to find out which one of its tailbacks is hot and ride that dude and then designate somebody, maybe Marcus Major in this case, to be its closer in the second half of the third quarter into the fourth quarter. Kind of like the preacher man Trey Sermon was for Oklahoma in 2017 and even 2018. Ramondre Stevenson sort of kind of took over that role and really came on strong here to finish the year coming back from his suspension. So that's what I think about it.